guys ever have one of those days where everybody's like, this is easy, but you know that because the vehicle you're doing, we made a mistake.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today is an exciting day. Today I am getting started on installing the Ace's Killshot II on my 1983 Mustang, Parts Stang behind me. Now, over the weekend, I spent a lot of time watching videos, and I know this is probably common sense. You're like, Eddie, everyone knows this. But before you do an install, make sure you read through the directions and instructions. And if anybody's done any how-to videos, check those out to make sure you don't hit any snags. Because when I did the unboxing, I realized something. So I made sure I watched a lot of videos so I could have a better understanding. And that's, you got to weld to install this. You're installing fuel injection. Yeah, you got to put an O2 sensor in there. And I reached out to Matt from Greasy Corner Garage yesterday and was like, hey man, if I drop this exhaust, mark it, can you and or your dad weld this O2 sensor in there? Because you gotta have an O2 sensor to read it, because obviously it's fuel injection. Duh, because I definitely knew that. I didn't know that. I was hoping I didn't have to weld, but you live and you learn. But this, all the videos I've watched, I actually feel really confident installing this Killshot II on here. There's a few things that make me nervous, just because I've never done it before, but all in all, this is super easy to install. So today is Monday, and my friends are coming Saturday to help me install. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go underneath the car. There's gonna be a wee later this week, but right now it is me. I am gonna go underneath the car and mark where this O2 sensor needs to be, because it needs to be 8 to 10 inches, I think, after the collector. So I'm gonna mark that and drop the exhaust, and hopefully tomorrow head over after work to Matt and have him or Dad TIG weld this in.
A few moments later.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm not getting underneath there. Those little jack stands got me nervous, and even the position of this. I'm gonna look for the jacks you kind of put underneath the tires to lift it up. I'm gonna see how much those are, because I love this hobby, I love this car, but that safety is my biggest concern. I got a wife and 3 kids, and I don't want to become a meme, so I'll get back to you guys. It's a new day. Today is Saturday. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm anxious. Not because of the Ace's fuel system, because I really think this EFI is going to be really not bad at all to install. It's just the timeline. This is exactly where I didn't want to be for Power Tour, but life happens. And that's what we got to realize. Sometimes life happens and we have to roll with the punches. So before we get started, I'm going to do something different, because I said I've been feeling anxious this week. Just not getting this where I wanted to before today. It's raining. It's so many things. My youngest got stung in the eyelid with a yellow jacket yesterday, and just feels like I'm just taking hits. But today's going to be a good day. Even with the rain, I've got friends coming over. But this verse really spoke to me this morning, and maybe it'll speak to you guys where you're at. This is Philippians 4, verses 6 and 7. Sorry, I'm kind of down here. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. In the peace of God, which transcends all understandings, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling anxious. I've got to pray. I don't know what you believe, but that's what I believe. It's what has helped me get through so many things. So let's get into this. All right, Charles is here to assist me, and he's assessed the situation. This is his car, so he's been under there a lot. So we are going to leave the 6-ton jack stands up front because it's really stable, but he agrees with me. The little guys in the back, we need to upgrade those eventually. So we're going to put the blocks that Daniel from Rev Garage made me, keep her a little more stable, so when we're underneath there running fuel lines and electrical lines and all the stuff that comes with this, that nobody gets crushed, because I think that's kind of an important lesson of the day. Nobody gets crushed and becomes a cartoon. Okay, guys, I know we are taking a lot longer getting set up, but I said before, safety is first, and we got the blocks underneath here, and we've got the jacks underneath the front. Got it as level as we can. Got a little bit of a California lean going down, a reverse squat, but feel a lot more comfortable. Charles feels good. Did a shake test. So now we're going to start the fun process of disassembling all the old stuff. So here we go. for a lot of this part, taking apart everything, we decided to time lapse it because you guys know what your engine looks like. You know, to do this, you have to take off your carburetor, take out your distributor, make sure you find top dead center and all the things that come with it. But we're going to highlight the important parts that are very crucial, that if you don't do, you're going to have a really, really bad day. One of those is locking out your distributor, because the computer and the handheld, from my understanding, it does everything for you. So you don't have to play with any of that timing stuff. That's how it works, right? So I have Charles here. I don't know what I'm doing. So I brought a friend, and a few other friends are going to show up eventually. So we're going to pull out our brand new, beautiful distributor. This thing is gorgeous. Without losing anything. Oh, thank you, Charles. Oh no, we're keeping this in here because people need to know that I have no clue what I'm doing, but I guess I have enough to be dangerous, and I'm doing this with my friends. So this is the Blackjack Pro distributor, and this thing is beefy. Look at that. It's nice. So first thing we got to do is we have to take a punch and remove this collar so everything can drop down, and then we'll take this out and we'll show you what we got to do. So I've watched about 4 other videos of guys doing this, because honestly, I'd be terrified if I didn't know about this. So you're really just going to, literally just going to take this little safety pin and I know this is probably not the right hammer to use, but it's the one we have, so it's what we're going to use. See, that's why I have Charles, because he saw what I realized. Here, I'll let you go. That I have to take the top of the distributor out, and you can't do that with the screws in there, so. Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. All right. Then, if I remember right, then we got to unscrew this part.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, unscrew this and then take the weights off of it.
Yep. Like I said, just because you don't know what you're doing doesn't mean you can't get a friend that knows what they're doing, and that's what I've done with this. I know the basics and the idea of doing this, but part of this terrified me. So I phoned some friends. So this is why you loosen this collar so this can lift up, so you can remove these weights.
Yeah, you gotta pull the weights off. Well, you gotta pull springs off.
Yeah.
You do it with your fingers, you're better than I am.
Yeah. I thought I'd be like, man, it'd be really cool if I could prove, look what I can do, and guess what I can't do. Thank you, Charles. Well, you guys don't realize this. I've been Charles' assistant all day, so the part that we're just going to film that you guys see is where he's my assistant, so it looks like I know what I'm doing. You guys know I don't know what I'm doing, but that's part of why you guys watch this channel, I think, to maybe inspire you to get out there and try and meet some friends. And there's one more thing, and I think we got to remove, yeah, we got to remove this one too. Which they all use just, you don't know, just
well, yeah, the guys that we saw use just a pair of pliers, which is not the greatest thing to use, but
apparently they're more manly than I am.
I wouldn't say that.
Because I think we're going to need a wrench. I'm destroying that. That is a tiny wrench. Yeah, maybe get pliers and I'll hold on to it.
No, because I hate using pliers on this stuff. I'd rather use the right tool. However,
there we go. Okay, I see why they use pliers. It's really not that.
yeah, it's not that tight.
Please stand by.
Don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, so this little nut here, you unscrew that. And don't drop it down into your distributor. And you remove this bushing. I think you take.
No.
And then this will put.
There's a big hole and a small hole, and that goes in the small hole.
So that's, yeah, just like that, right? Yeah. Right?
So,
yeah, because then your cap goes in there. So you're literally just putting this, wow, that got really bright, and just locking it up there, just like that. And This is the scary part, is lining this little part back up. Yeah, Charles is going to look something to make sure I'm not screwing something up. Oh yeah, because we got to line this square in that. Yeah, that's right. And then there's also on the top here a square and a round, and you line it up just like that game that you thought wasn't going to pay off when you were little. The little round Step 2 or whatever toy that was, or Little Tykes toy. This is where it pays off. If you decide to work on your cars, that's where it pays off, not doing office jobs. So then eventually, once we get that locked back in, we'll put this on there. Is that not lining up? Nope. Oh, gosh. I'm going to make sure you get that nice and flush in there too. Actually, I think I'm going to use the punch just to get it a little more level. Just to be safe, just one tiny hit in there. There we go. I feel better about that. You see now this is nice and locked. Feel good? Then we'll take our square and around and go. Voila. Oh, thanks, Charles. Look, he's letting me do stuff, guys. Isn't that nice of him? Invite your friends over to help work on your cars that you bought off them. And all the hard work that Charles did, we're just taking off. No, we're keeping the good stuff. The suspension, you did so much of this car to get it. Because if Charles wouldn't have done all the work he did to this car, this process would not be easy, because he's got half the stuff already lined up that he didn't even realize we'd be doing this on there. And you know somebody's official when they show up in a jumpsuit. I'm in a Slinky t-shirt. So you can obviously see which one of us is the professional and which one of us is not.
No, this is, I don't like getting dirty anymore.
Charles, sounds better this way. It's because you're professional. Feel good?
It's only going one way. If you got 180 degrees out, those little pins right there.
Look at that. He is
pins right there.
Learning more with Blue Chip Auto Works. The more you know.
That's all right. Daniel's over there making a bunch of noise.
Prepare for the Ford jokes. Is it going to be him or Mark in the comments? It'd be better if you would have said, let's swap this. But 5.0s are so good, though. Like, I'm a Chevy guy for trucks, but for cars, these 5.0s, there's something about them. They just sound so good. And I'm ready to experience the funness that is a 5.0. Here, we'll turn the camera around so people can see Daniel from Rev Garage, not feeling good and still showing up. And he showed up in his beautiful GMC. Hey, buddy. Hey. Let's get this distributor in here with the guidance of Charles and Daniel. I'm going to do this here and hopefully not hear crunching and just dropping in a good way. Do it. I don't know if that's... There we go. I'll let you feel that, Charles. Here, hold that back.
Well, it's not all. It's not.
Yeah, it's not going down all the way.
Let me turn the engine.
Walked up, I saw Charles, and I was thinking, man, we got Ed China here with his coveralls.
I know, that's what I said. I'm like, you know who the professional mechanic is when you got a guy that shows up in overalls.
I mean, he just needs the big old rubber boots.
How about now? Is that close to him?
Yeah, wiggle jiggle.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like,
that's good.
Yeah, I feel like I got it right. You'd spun us all the way around, and then I turned it back to where it was before.
Oh, did it drop down?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, once again, this is why you bring your professional friends, because I don't know what I'm doing, but we're having fun.
You had it right.
You know. All right.
Like you said, I'm here for comic relief.
Well, that's
that was me.
Oh.
You both are.
You're not that funny.
Oh.
I know that, but I'm joking.
Funny looking, but
well, I own that one too. Yeah.
I guess we can get the other cap to put on there.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
Just seeing if there are certain ways that's to go on.
Just line up with the screw holes.
Yeah.
There it goes. It just dropped down. It just fell. It wasn't falling down, and then all of a sudden.
See, I'm here to make my friends feel better when they go home. It's like, wow, Eddie really doesn't know what he's doing. It's like, how does he keep doing this? Why does he keep doing this? Because the hobby that my ADD is like, I like this. I like pain. That in video games. And I'm not good at that either. So if I can be mediocre at both, I think I'm winning. Whoop.
My boys won't let me play video games with them anymore.
What? I play Fortnite with Eddie all the time.
All right, so what we can do. Just put the hole down on it.
Oh, yes.
I'm making a video.
Someday I'll have a show. Oh, look how much more room we have to work with this distributor. Like,
Nice. And so, get on right.
But you gotta put a coil somewhere else though to take up space.
no, the coil can just go like, not worth it.
They normally go on these somewhere on the.
Yeah, we can. So we got enough holes here. I mean,
On there. The only problem with that
we
one
got it
was
snug.
Yeah.
So we're just jumping around here, making this work as we go. So that's not permanently mounted, but we're trying to clear out ways, and it's already looking better. So much better.
And this up before was
That was
this
one.
was cylinder one.
Yeah.
And so
oh, I'm confused now.
this was
One's over here on this side.
yeah, one's over here.
He had
All the cool people. Cylinder one is this one.
See, I'm in a weird
I read
place.
left to right, bro.
So left to right.
Yeah, when I'm sitting in my car. It's the front of the
Look,
engine.
left to right.
All the cool people count this way. 1, 2, 3. All right. This is.
It does make me happy. This is an AC car, though.
This AC is dropping the top.
No.
Let's validate. That's cylinder one.
Could set the throttle body actually on permanently now. So an important thing to notice is make sure you put this gasket on the right way. There's these knockouts. Let's see if I remember how to do it. Like that? No. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one.
Yeah, so where is it? Yeah, it's that one. So it only goes one way. That's good. But you want to use their gasket that they supply.
Well, this is a universal part,
Yeah, it is.
so it works better on Chevrolets than Ford, but it'll work on a Ford.
And all the
Yep, got them over here. Oh yeah. Full getting excited.
How long is that your one?
Just one day,
All day? Or?
all day.
I've never gone to it.
Do you like being
No, I don't like-
crowded
I don't
in like a
huge
sardine?
crowds. No, I don't like huge crowds.
Then don't go.
I'm old. I don't
I
like
think
that
that's.
stuff
You
anymore.
want to check it?
I can. I mean,
Well,
I'm sure there's a torque spec on these.
got the coil mounted to the shock tower. Might not be the best, but for us, I think it's the best thing. We're not going to talk about how many times we had to drill it out. We don't talk about that. But hey, it's mounted now and it's sturdy. We got to tighten it down, but we're making progress. The throttle body on, the distributor in, the coil. Next, we got to figure out where we're going to put the ECU, whether we're going to put it inside the car or out here somewhere. Okay, so something important to do before you start permanently mounting everything is get the wiring harness. Now, this wiring harness, we have not shown you guys this. It is fantastic. It is all in one. It's all one piece. Oops. And it starts right here. This is the start for your ECU. So Basically, it's your ECU backwards. Some of you may know this, but maybe you've never seen this before. I was going to try to put the ECU over here, but we realized we're going to put the ECU in the car because there's actually a factory grommet right there that we can just pop through. So we're going to put our ECU in there, then our fuses will be all right in here and not interrupt anything and move all that forward. So when you guys are doing this, before you lay out your ECU and everything and think you know where you want it, grab your wiring harness so you know what direction you have to go. For the next part, we've got to drop the gas tank, which is, it's fine. Everything's fine. Luckily, it's a brand new gas tank, so it should be relatively easy. We'll get that dropped, and then we'll drill out the holes for the fuel pump. So we're going to put you guys over here on a camera so you can get a time lapse, because you guys have seen it, but just in case, well, I'm on time lapse just in case. See you in a few minutes. Take two. Look, Matt from Greasy Corner Garage showed up, and he is rocking the new Brick Rod Garage shirt, which I appreciate. Look at that. Pick yourself some up at brickrodgarage.com. Shameless plug. So right now we're putting the fuel pump in the tank, and I know some of you are going to freak out about the placement, but the good thing is we looked at it, the fuel pump, you can actually bend the bottom so it'll be at the bottom, and we're not losing our fuel gauge, which is really important since I'm going to be driving across the country in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks is fine. So what Aces does is really nice. Goes inside your tank. There's a lip here, and I was struggling with this lip for a while, so I had to watch one of their videos. What this lip does is it holds it in place. So then when you're marking it, it doesn't move. And then when it goes in tank, you're good. But how cool is that? This is designed to, that way you don't drill the wrong holes 5 times, and we haven't drilled wrong holes at all today, have we, Charles?
No, we've been pretty spot on.
Spot on every hole. We have not had to wall anything out for brackets that you'll never see and never know about. Everything's fine. I mean, we got Matt here to supervise now. Daniel had to leave, so we had to get a new supervisor. We had to get a Ford expert for a supervisor. Daniel, hope you're feeling better, buddy. But all right, we're going to drill these holes, and we'll get back to you after we do that, because, yeah, bye. So we got our holes drilled, got everything where we think it's going to be. It's going to work. It's fine. Everything's good. So what I understand is you get to play Jenga. So this shows you how good at Jenga you are and other things, I guess. And sees it, and if we line this up right.
And we skipped cleaning out the tank
Yeah,
very well.
we did clean
To
up.
the EPA regulations.
Absolutely. We followed all local laws and restrictions. Oh, man.
Now we did make sure the holes were.
Who did drill the holes? I can't remember. It wants to go, but I'll try something real quick here. So you see how it flips in there. Let's see something real quick. All right. So what we realize is I am not good at marking, and Charles is going to make these a little bit bigger for me because I marked it wrong. But it's really not that bad. But we'll get back to you because you guys know how to drill holes and clean. Yeah, it's fine. I had to adjust the holes because I can't mark them right. So we're going to try take 2. Because I'm not going to hide this from you guys and say, oh, it went perfect the whole time, because you guys know better than that. You guys watched me try to fix my Jeep before, and
It went perfect the whole time.
and if you haven't tried to watch me fix my Jeep and you're looking for something amusing to watch tonight, scroll through some of my older videos. All right, where's that foam piece? All right, so this lines up perfectly. First try. Insert Batman clip.
First try.
Put this foam piece on here. Now remember, guys, you are modifying a fuel tank for an aftermarket piece. And yeah, this foam piece really holds these bolts up really well, actually. All right. I like it. Oh, that's nice and snug. Look at that. All right, now we need the fuel pump right here. And you got to remember, when you're doing this, remember which way the front of your tank is and which way the back of your tank is. I know you guys are thinking, it's going to go in like that.
Editor Eddie here. You're about to witness catastrophic failure because of me and me trying to make this fuel pump work in a Mustang tank because they're a pain in the butt. But do not do what I did. Aces really wants you to put the fuel pump in the center according to the instructions. I'm making this work in this application. What they do offer is a command center that is like, it's a tank that stays in the front that helps hold fuel for these kind of situations. I think this is still gonna work, but down the road, I'm probably gonna have to order one. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. So I just wanna be clear. Anytime I screw something up, I own up to it. And this is not because of the product, it's because of the way we were bending it. And we did not disconnect it from one of the lines, which I'll explain more, but I want to put that little disclaimer in there just so you guys know. Now, back to the video and watching me break stuff.
We're going to bend it. Because at the end of the day, this part doesn't matter. This part matters. Small bend in it. Look at that precision bend.
Try that out.
All right.
We'll play with it
So-
until it gets right.
You're on the bottom, bud.
I'm already on the bottom. Okay, so we need to bend it more. Or do we need to cut it? Because that ain't gonna work. There's a lot of trial and error. Because this fuel pump is designed
Actually
to
needs a little
cut.
more bend in it.
Bend, well technically cut, but we're bending. And we'll find out how well that works. Where's that sock at? That was lovely. So a little more bend, you said? More?
No, try that. Let's walk up on it. I just didn't that long.
We could always cut it.
Yeah. Only two more zippers or one more zipper.
I think I bent it too much the wrong way. I'm on the bottom right there. I'm hitting sooner now. Oh, please. I just ever have one of those days where everybody's like, this is easy, but you know that because the vehicle you're doing, it's not, the system is great. This fuel tank, if you're going to do it on a Mustang, I would suggest getting a fuel cell. But I'm trying to do this as cheaply as possible. We made a mistake, and I'm reaching out to Aces, and I'll let you know what happens. We broke the fuel pump. You haven't said that. But we broke the fuel pump in doing it because this line is hard, and honestly, we bent on the wrong spot.
Editor Eddie again. Update on that. Aces did in fact send me another fuel pump. Thank you again, Aces, for working with me on this. I won't break this one. I know what to do this time. Back to the video.
Welcome back. Next day, got some sleep. I want to thank Charles from Blue Chip Auto Works because he was here for 12 hours got here at 9, left at 9 last night. Daniel from Rev Garage for coming. He had a leak, so it didn't feel good. And Matt from Greasy Corner Garage for coming over and helping yesterday. I appreciate my friends, guys. Like, I cannot tell you how much my friends are a lifesaver, especially in doing this, because this system is really simple. As long as you don't screw it up like I did and bend the fuel pump a little too much. I'm going to turn it around, show you what we did. Yesterday was a really productive day. We got the new distributor put in, which is looking really good. We got it bolted back down, got our plug wires where they need to go. We got the throttle body in there, and I cannot get over this gold. My gosh, we still gotta connect it. So people are figuring, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Yeah, I'm aware that's not gonna work. We found we're gonna put our coil. Our coil is gonna go there, and our ECU, if you can see her down there, is gonna go down in there. It is up out of the way. The plan is to finish up everything under the hood, because since I screwed up the fuel pump, we're on a little bit of a delay. So my thought is get everything plugged in. I got to plug in the ECU down there, and then get all these relays and all the stuff. We're going to put them down in here on the firewall, because I put them here, but they're not going to fit, because there's a trim piece that goes here, a rubber piece that goes here eventually, which I need to get. So we're going to like tuck it up underneath here somewhere and get all that plugged in. And maybe run some electric wires to the back. Back of the car, like I said yesterday, if you're going to do this on a foxbody Mustang, I would suggest getting a fuel cell made, and I think I'm going to do that later, because see, this is a pain in the butt, because I would have loved to put the fuel pump here, but there's like no room underneath this, like in the tank V's, so you have like no room for your fuel tank. So where I want to put the fuel pump there, ideally, really just wouldn't work, so that's why we went here, made a hole, and it's going to bend, so it'll be flat, and that pump will work, and then I can still have my level, so I can know my gas gauge will still work. Making progress. Trying to figure out where to put all my fuses. I have two fuses and 2 relays, and I want to put them right here on the firewall, but there's this lip, and if you see, if I do that, it's going to kind of crank them out a little bit, especially the relays. It's going to put it in a not so happy spot. So Charles had this piece of aluminum when he had this car, that he had the fuel pump mounted underneath the skid plate. Pretty genius idea. So what I did is I bent it. I bent it like this. So I got a flush plate to mount it. And now I'm going to bend it. Actually, I need to remark that. I'm going to bend it this way, bend it straight down to make it so I have a place to safely mount the fuses up out of the way and down below this, so it's out of the way when we put the drip mold in. But I'm going to show you what I'm using, because I don't have a brake. I'm going to use this vise down here as a metal brake. This is not the easiest way. A metal brake would be so much easier, but we're just going to use what we got. So put you on time lapse and get this going. Now, obviously, this is not the straightest, but for no metal brake, I mean, it's not going to win a beauty contest or metalworking, thinking, hey, if nothing else, it'll make a great meme. But I used a vise and a 4x4. How mad can I really be? But that's perfect. Now I can get this thing low right there, kind of like a filler piece. And I think that's going to work great. All right, get that put on there. Actually, I am not mad about that at all. I think I'm going to end part 1 here. I know we didn't get a whole lot done, but with this car and any car, remember, do not rush the process. Take your time and make sure you're doing everything correctly, because you could end up like we did and breaking a fuel pump. But now we have a plan on how to make all of this work. I think I forgot to mention that Matt took home my exhaust, so him and his dad can weld in the necessary O2 sensor. We marked it off. I dropped the pipes. He took it home with him, taking it back to his shop. So his dad's going to work some magic on that. And I will make sure I show you guys the welds on that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your patience in this video. And you know, I'm still a little nervous about getting all this done in like 3 weeks, but you know what? I'll get it done. Stay tuned for part 2 of installing the Killshot II on Parts Stang. I'm excited about this. Even with everything that I messed up and did, this thing is going to sound good and be so much fun to drive this summer and make some memories with my kids. Until next time, guys, happy hunting. So the other Eddie's here, and Eddie, what do you think about the gold aces on here?
I think it looks great. It really makes the car, like, the inside pop.
Even the kids love the gold on this. Like, if you're going to do this Killshot II, you've got to go with the gold because it looks so good.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, yeah. Love to get my kids' reactions on this. It's just so good. All right. All right. All right. All right.
Editor Eddie here. Spoiler alerts.